All right, when you hear the words crypto and blockchain, I bet your mind immediately jumps to things like finance, maybe digital art, those complicated trading charts. But today, we're going to talk about something completely different, something a little sweeter. We're talking about honey. Seriously, just take a second and picture that. You pop open a jar, scan a little code with your phone, and boom, you see exactly where it came from. The specific hive, the flowers, even the name of the person who took care of the bees. And this isn't some sci-fi movie stuff. It's a real-world application of blockchain that's happening right now. It connects you to your food like never before. But to really get why this is such a game changer, we first have to understand the problem it's solving. And trust me, it's a big one. The whole honey industry has this massive issue with trust and, well, honesty. Now get this, the scale of the fraud is just mind-boggling. This number here, it means that in some places up to a full one-third of the honey you see on store shelves isn't actually what it says it is. It might be watered down with cheap syrup, maybe it's mislabeled from a different country, or worse, it might not be real honey at all. And the fallout from that? It's huge. I mean, for you, the consumer, you're getting ripped off. You're not getting what you paid for. But then you've got the honest, hardworking beekeepers. They're getting totally undercut by these shady, fraudulent products. It makes it almost impossible for them to compete. It's just a complete breakdown of transparency from top to bottom. So, how in the world do you fix that? How do you bring honesty back to the hive? Well, this is where the tech comes in with a pretty brilliant solution. Think of it like creating a unique, unforgeable digital fingerprint for every single jar. Now, for anyone who's not super familiar, a blockchain is basically a super secure digital record book. The key thing to know is that it's immutable, which is just a fancy way of saying it can't be changed or messed with. Once a piece of information goes on there, it is locked in forever, and that is the secret sauce. It lets us create a totally trustworthy history for that jar of honey that nobody can fake. Okay, so let's walk through how this actually works. It's surprisingly simple. It all starts with the beekeeper. They harvest the honey and scan a QR code right there at the hive, which creates the very first entry. Then, every single step after that, the truck that transports it, the facility that bottles it, the final shipment to the store, every step gets logged. So by the time you pick that jar up off the shelf, you can scan it with your phone and see its entire verified life story from hive to hand. But here's where it gets even cooler. This whole system is more than just a tracking tool. It's actually designed to create a brand new kind of economy built around authentic, honest food. And I know what you're probably thinking. Okay, the tracking part makes sense, but why bring crypto tokens into this? Doesn't that just make it more complicated? Well, it might seem that way, but they actually serve a really specific and important purpose. So think of it like this. The blockchain and the tokens are two sides of the same coin, but they have completely different jobs. The blockchain, that's your source of truth. It's the secure ledger that proves the data is real. The crypto tokens, though, they're the reward. They're the engine that gives everyone, from the farmer to you, a reason to participate honestly. And this is where it creates this awesome little circular economy. A small farmer who's doing everything by the book, using ethical practices, they can get rewarded with tokens, kind of like micropayments for doing the right thing. And you, the consumer, you could earn loyalty tokens for choosing to buy that verified, authentic honey. And these tokens have real value. You can trade them or maybe use them for discounts on future purchases. It creates this amazing, self-sustaining loop built entirely on trust. Okay, so we've got a system that proves your honey is real and rewards everyone for being honest. That's already incredible, right? A huge step forward. But believe it or not, the story doesn't end there. It actually goes a whole lot deeper. Because the very same technology that's making sure your honey is legit is also being used for a much, much bigger purpose. You have to imagine tiny sensors placed inside the beehives, just constantly monitoring the health of the colony. And all that data, we're talking about patterns of disease, exposure to harmful pesticides, even the effects of climate change. All of it can be fed directly onto that same unchangeable blockchain. For scientists and environmentalists, this is an unbelievably powerful tool to help protect these pollinators that are so critical to our planet. Just let that sink in for a second. We hear so much about the negative side of crypto, right? The energy consumption. But here we have a perfect example of how that same core technology can be used for a vital environmental mission. It's just a powerful and frankly really unexpected connection. And really, this is the perfect thing to remember. It's a simple, real-world story that pushes back on the idea that this technology is just about speculation and making a quick buck. No, here it's being used to empower small farmers, protect all of us as consumers, and even help save the ecosystem we all rely on. So it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If this kind of radical transparency can completely transform something like honey, what's next? Think about your coffee, or olive oil, or seafood. What about the clothes you're wearing? Where else could this kind of digital fingerprint completely change the game and rebuild our trust in the world around us?